Well, hey guys, good morning. It's another warm day here in Pennsylvania in February. It feels nice, but you know, last year we did have a day in February that was 72 degrees. I was taking soil samples in 72 degree weather in the middle of February, so it's kind of the same start to the year as last year. You'll notice I'm on a trail here. One nice thing about this farm excuse me, is all the trails everywhere. As far as there's paths through the woods, there's little trails everywhere. I figured I'd kind of show you and give you more of a tour here of how this farm, the way the land is here. Well, it's winter time and we can't do any field work. This embankment here goes up, and you'll remember that's the field that I have it in hay. It's a hay field. You can see it in my video Too Wet to Farm. I'm pretty sure I showed that field pretty well. That's up there. That's up there is like 8-9 acres, maybe a little more. But if I pan over this way, you'll see there's another embankment that goes down. This is kind of built right into a bank here. You'll see there's a lot of standing water right now from the thaw. All the snow melted. But if I pan all the way around here, you kind of get a sense of where I am. If I can't zoom now, it won't zoom back out. Come on. There we go. So that's where the barn is. Years ago when they had dairy cattle, this was pasture. This all down in there was pasture. These trees weren't here. This was all grass, the way I understand it. Basically, where I have my cornfield out there, right at the end of it, it turns into like a muddy, wet, grassy area, and that continued all the way out to that field out there, that bottom land where that bluegrass is. So they had a pretty large pasture here. You can still see some evidence of a pasture. The electric fence is probably, if I dig around in the bank, you can still find the electric fence down in there. So that was pretty neat. So then once you had the pasture, where all these trees are, they had Christmas trees growing. And I was told also they used to grow some tobacco, which was amazing to me because of how far north we are in Pennsylvania, that they could grow tobacco. That's kind of unheard of in my area here. I don't know anybody that's doing it where I'm located. A lot of that stuff is further south down in Lancaster, if anybody can grow any type of tobacco. But they did Christmas trees on this farm. They used to sell private sale to people, and since then it has just grown up. I mean, you can see it's forest. The farm was logged 2 years ago or 3 years ago now. A lot of the bigger trees that were mature were taken out. This area wasn't touched. This was left alone. You can see the size of some of the trees. But anyway, let's continue the tour here. I just figured I'd show you another one of these trails through the woods. Alright, so now we get down into more of the wetlands. You can see the standing water here. We are pretty low here as far as the way the farm is with the elevation. This is one of the lowest spots on the farm. All this standing water, usually by the summertime it's gone. This is just from the thaw that we've been having. All of this water here is going to drain into a creek and will be gone. But I'm down here. This actually used to be the farm dump. Now it's been cleaned up. It's been cleaned up. All the junk has been sorted and taken out of here over the years. So there is no dump on this farm anymore. Here we're closer to the bottom of where that hay field is. You can see there's still some remnants. There's like a barrel there. There's some buckets over there. But this is where they would haul all the junk from the farm. Every farm had a dump, especially back in the 50s and 60s. It's not like it is today where you have to pay to get trash removed. Anything that wouldn't burn would go to the dump if they didn't save it for themselves. So this wetlands, I don't know how well you can see, it goes out pretty far. Pretty far out through the woods there. And actually what is under this, it's going to transition here probably down in there. It's like topsoil, grass, was a pasture, and then it turns into coal silt. So this is kind of where the coal that is here on this farm starts, and it pretty well goes out and wraps all the way around the bottom of this this hayfield here. It goes out pretty far. There's a lot of coal here also. So yeah, Christmas trees, tobacco, pasture, land that was usable at one time now is kind of just wetlands. But it's cleaned up. It was cleaned up before I had anything to do with the place. So it's I mean, it's nice that they did clean it up. The dump is still on my dad's place. It's still full of glass bottles and all that kind of stuff. Milk bottles, that was fun as a kid. We would go to the dump and look for milk bottles, and found quite a few of them. So I don't think there's any left here. This was cleaned up pretty nice. So as far as environmental standards, this farm has no dump. So make our EPA, DEP happy. All the trash is gone. All right, guys, we get down here and it's kind of a wetland area. It's nothing but trees. You'll see there's another trail here that goes up through there, and a trail that extends. This trail here actually is about a mile-long loop around all this bottomland, all this wetlands. It's pretty neat. It makes things accessible, but there's nothing down here. I have thought of the idea of Christmas trees like they used to do. There are a lot of Christmas tree farms in Pennsylvania, but that's kind of on the back burner. It takes pretty many years until you get any type of trees established. That's a long wait till you get a return on your investment. So not being an owner, I'm not going to go and plant 2,000 tree saplings. It's a pretty long wait till you have any type of money. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see it clearly, but that's the bottom of my hayfield through the trees. I don't know if I can pull up here and find a better spot. Through the trees there, you might be able to see it there. You can see right through the trees. That's the bottom of that hayfield in the video Too Wet to Farm. Basically just comes all the way down here into the woods. So it's not a terrible field. It's just wet in the bottom, but it could be a lot wetter. Here there's another area where the water all drains. Some more standing water, mosquito problems, but in the summer usually this is gone. All the water and everything from this valley here drain into this. There is a culvert pipe under this road to help get it away. It actually goes that way into the creek, the way the ground slopes. So see the trail here. So you think it'd be fun for four-wheelers, but it's not open to the public, and four-wheelers aren't allowed. It makes it nice for hunters, for hunting, because if you shoot a deer down here, you can bring your pickup down on one of these trails to load up your deer. You don't have to drag it as far. Making hay, I got a watch right up there. You can see there's not a whole lot of forgiveness there till you get to this embankment. So yeah, as far as the hunting, that's not open to the public either. That's kind of reserved for family and friends. So I know some people might have asked if they wanted to go, if they could go hunt here. And it's just how it is. I'm not the owner, and I like how we do things here. Basically, the only people hunting are people you know, and that's a safe way to do things. So yeah, it's kind of neat on this farm. I do like all these trails through the woods. So just a little video tour today of things. Well, it's so nice, and it's nice to be out. All right, so like I say, it's still way too wet to do anything out in the fields. I'm out here scouting for rocks. I'm gonna end this video here, guys. This field was reseeded about 2-3 years ago with brand new orchard grass, and there's a lot of these rocks that I noticed last year when I was in the field for the first time cutting this hay. Really had to watch out. Damaged all kinds of sickle knives. Don't quite know where they were. I didn't know where they were, but I know where they are now. It's very easy to see them. So we're just out scouting through these fields while it's so warm today, and hauling these rocks over to the rock pile, get them out of the field, and hopefully next year we can go. We can put the hay bind down and mow and not have to constantly worry about rocks like that sticking up, getting in the hay bind. Still haven't figured out what I want to do with that area down there. It's all going to depend on what kind of a year we have. If it's a real wet year, that's going to be abandoned again. It's just going to be way too wet to get down in there. There's a spring out in that area. I don't need to recover it. I did a video, Too Wet to Farm, explaining what the deal is here with this. So, and then it gets really steep out there. This here just kind of drops off, so it might only be 2-3 acres, but it's a mess. So if we have a wet year, it's just gonna have to abandon it like I did last year. So thanks for watching, guys, and we're just out picking rocks today and enjoying the weather. So I'll keep you posted on what else is going on.